All right, so Meghan and Harry are coming back to the UK, and it doesn't sound like many of you are particularly happy to have them back. Have we got any fans in? We must have someone who's all right, at least ambivalent or something. Oh, there we go. One person. Good. OK. Ambivalent is the best they can hope for, I think. It seems a little bit mad that they'd want to come back, though, given the fact that they felt that they literally had to flee the country 6 years ago.
It's 6 a.m. on the 14th of March, and we are on the Freedom Flight.
The Freedom Flight. I mean, come on. And since then, as we all know, they've stuck the knife into the royals.
Well, there you go. This is GB News Originals. I'm Emily Carver. Please do give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. And do leave a comment. Let me know what you think.
There's several conversations.
There's a conversation with you.
With Harry.
About how dark your baby is going to be?
Potentially, and what that would mean or look like.
Ooh.
And Harry has been on record recently saying that there's no real chance of reconciliation.
I would love reconciliation with my family. I don't know how much longer my father has. You know, he won't speak to me because of this security stuff. But it would be nice to reconcile. If they don't want that, that's entirely up to them.
Yeah, exactly. He went on to say, well, he can't do it without any accountability and all of this stuff, and there's not really been any publicly, has there? So, anyway, last night I had Prince Harry's friend Archie Manners on my show, and he said he was 100% sure the reason behind Meghan and Harry's shock return was the King's health and wanting to be close to him with their kids.
I am in no doubt that the primary motivator of this move is the King's health. What we have here is the beginnings of a family getting back together, a son having a last few years with his sick father, a grandfather spending time with his grandchildren.
Look, all very noble, all very understandable, isn't it? Slightly odd, though, given that Harry gave this response when he was asked how he's been processing his King's cancer diagnosis while being so far away living in California.
Physically being in California, how have you processed the fact that there's so much happening back with your family where you come from?
I have my own family,
right.
So as we all do, yeah. Right? So, you know, my family and my life in California is as it is. You know, I've got other trips planned that would take me through the UK or back to the UK. So, you know, I'll stop in and see my family as much as I can.
Yeah, quite an interesting response that, isn't it, really? He's got his own family. Anyway, friends of Prince Harry don't want to talk about all this stuff. They say it's all just speculation.
Possible to speculate. A huge number of these articles, particularly the negative ones, are entirely speculative. For the next few weeks, will be speculative and damning on stuff they have yet to do. So much of what's written is entirely speculative.
All that speculation would go away, though, wouldn't it, if Harry and Meghan just released a statement? I mean, they'd just drop a bombshell, no explanation, no statement, and they're probably going to moan about everyone speculating about it. But anyway, then today, this happened.
Meanwhile, it's been reported that Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, has been offered an acting role within the United Kingdom, and GB News can confirm that that is the case. More details shortly.
And there we go. All of a sudden, it starts to make a lot more sense about why they're back in Britain. Supposedly, Meghan's got an acting job. It is all coming together now. But this is good, because it means that we will get to see more of her Oscar-winning performances, like this in CBS Studios 90210. She was the woman in the car, by the way. So I'd make that very clear there. Yeah.
What's she doing, Patrick?
I'm not allowed to say. Not allowed to say. I'll be honest with you, I'm surprised we were allowed to play the clip. But anyway, maybe she's going to star in the latest series of Deal or No Deal.
Open the case.
Yes, it's easy to forget that she was very much an A-lister in her own right, wasn't she, before she married into our royal family? And then today, the breaking news. Prince Harry, alongside Sir Elton John, Liz Hurley and Baroness Doreen Lawrence, are facing a legal bill of up to £34.5 million after losing their phone hacking case against the publisher of the Daily Mail. And supposedly about £9.5 million of that has to be paid in the next few days. So So, let's get to my panel, let's get to the audience. I want to know if anyone here is particularly happy that they're back. Christo, I imagine you are absolutely cock-a-hoop with the idea of Harry and Meghan moving back to Britain.
What have we done to deserve such news? No, really, what have we done to deserve such news? Look, they're hypocrites. Why would they want to come back to a family that they have implied are racist, implied took Meghan's passport, implied, froze her out, told stories on her, were absolutely horrific towards them both, and now they want to come back and spend time with them? Why would you want to do that? Unless, of course, you're broke and the only money that you've made over the last couple of years has come from trashing that family. And I think there lies the problem, and there lies my fear with this, is that they're going to come back. The only thing that they've done that's successful is either the Netflix documentary, which had some good success, not the cooking show, where we learned that amazing revelation that put a tea bag in water, it makes tea. Well done, Meghan, and that edible flowers can be thrown on absolutely everything, including, I believe, Israel and Gaza. But I think that the sort of the stuff about the royals is the stuff that has been successful for them. Harry's book Spare, where of course he spoke about putting Elizabeth Arden cream on his private parts and said how it reminded him of his mother. Yeah. What a great tribute to Diana, Princess of Wales. And if they come back and have a couple more years with the royals, they'll have a couple more years of gripes and accusations that they can then monetise in a couple of years' time and make more money, because everything is through the prism of PR and money.
OK. Adam, your views on why they're back?
I can't bear them, if I'm honest. I'll be honest, because that's what I do on here. I say it as it is. Harry was a proper man. He served in our armed forces. You know, anyone that does that, I have great admiration for. And in just a few years, she turned him into the wokest prat that I've ever seen in my life. You know, I cannot bear to see him. He's like a perpetual victim, and she is a narcissist. She just wants to be on the front pages or on the TV, no matter what. Before she met Harry, I have it on good authority, because I've got friends in those circles, she was after a famous boyfriend. She hit jackpot, or what she thought was jackpot. But then she realised there comes duties, and she has to follow the rules when you become a royal. And she didn't like that. So she threw her toys out the pram, and they went across the Atlantic and got away from a so-called racist family. I don't believe those allegations at all, and I don't believe you would come back if those were true. But look, they are hypocrites, attention seekers, and I want nothing to do with them for this country.
Gosh, OK, well, strong stuff there. Barry, look, what do you make of their return? I mean, obviously, Prince Harry's friend Archie last night in this studio was pretty adamant. This was before news broke of Meghan's resurgent acting career, of course, that he was actually, they were coming back primarily because the king is not in great health and they want to be near him.
Well, look, he may be a friend of Harry's, but he doesn't speak for them. And you know, he was going on about speculation, and all he was doing was speculating. So, look, I don't hold much store by that. I'm glad that Adam said that he respected Harry's service in the military, as I do. I think that's absolutely right, and we should honour that. I also respect what he's done for ex-servicemen who've lost their limbs, and Invictus, the Invictus Games, I think is a real achievement, actually. Anybody managing to get that, you know, to happen and to give those guys, you know, the...
Behind closed doors in Westminster, the power struggles threatening to fracture British politics. There is a quiet panic echoing through the corridors of Whitehall, the kind of polished, carefully managed panic that usually precedes a seismic shift in power. If you look closely at the headlines coming out of Westminster, beyond the staged photo opportunities and rehearsed press releases, you begin to see the outline of a political establishment fighting tooth and nail to maintain control. Welcome to Britain Underneath, where we pull back the velvet curtains of the British establishment to reveal what is truly driving the machinery of state. Before we dive into the dark heart of this latest political manoeuvre, hit that subscribe button for Britain Underneath right now. It takes just a second, but it empowers us to keep delivering the sharp, unfiltered truth about the institutions governing your life. So, take a quick breath, stay informed, and make sure you are subscribed to help this channel grow.
What we are witnessing right now across the United Kingdom is not merely a debate over policy, it is a fundamental struggle over the future of British governance. Behind the grand architecture of Parliament, a quiet reshuffling of power is taking place that could redefine local economies, taxation, and national security for a generation. On the surface, ministers promise sweeping reforms, economic stability, and localised control meant to empower communities across the nation. They present a calm, assured facade to the public, insisting that every decision is crafted with precision for the national interest. Yet beneath that smooth exterior lies a frantic race against public sentiment, shifting party factions, and economic realities that simply refuse to align with the official narrative. Look at the way strategic announcements are dropped late into the news cycle, carefully timed to avoid maximum scrutiny while satisfying key financial backers and political allies. The ongoing friction within the cabinet over fiscal priorities reveals a government caught between grand ambition and brutal fiscal restraint. Every major bill introduced on the floor of the House of Commons carries hidden concessions, quiet compromises designed to placate backbench rebels who hold the government's razor-thin political margin hostage. It is a high-stakes game of political chess, played with public funds and national policy, where a single misstep can collapse an entire legislative agenda overnight. If you value this kind of deep-dive analysis into the hidden mechanisms of our nation, subscribe to Britain Underneath today to ensure you never miss an update on the stories the mainstream media glosses over. The geopolitical landscape only adds fuel to this volatile fire. As international agreements are forged and security pacts updated, decisions made in quiet rooms off Downing Street carry massive domestic consequences. Millions in public funds are committed to overseas defence initiatives and complex global partnerships, while domestic infrastructure, transport networks, and public services face severe financial strain. The establishment attempts to balance these competing demands with high-sounding rhetoric, but the strain on ordinary citizens is undeniable. When decisions made behind closed doors directly impact local taxation, job security, and community services, the public deserves more than polished talking points. They deserve transparency. Consider the recent pushes toward regional devolution and local economic control. While framed as a triumph of democracy, bringing power closer to the people, insider accounts suggest a far more strategic calculation. Decoupling national accountability by shifting economic burdens onto regional authorities allows central government to manage political risk while taking credit for any localised success. It is a classic Westminster tactic: outsource the difficulty, retain the prestige. When local authorities are forced to scramble for resources while navigating complex central mandates, the cracks in the system become impossible to ignore. This dynamic extends directly into the heart of our civil service, where non-elected officials often wield more influence over the execution of policy than the ministers whose names appear on the ballot. The political battles taking place within government departments are fierce, as long-standing bureaucratic traditions clash with urgent political mandates. Policies designed to look bold on television are frequently diluted into quiet irrelevance by the time they reach implementation, leaving voters wondering why real change feels perpetually out of reach.
Understanding these internal friction points is the key to understanding why British politics operates the way it does. As we navigate an era defined by economic unpredictability, shifting electoral loyalties, and institutional friction, staying truly informed requires looking beyond the daily political theatre. The decisions taking shape right now will dictate the economic and social reality of this country for years to come. The establishment relies on the public becoming overwhelmed by the noise, hoping you look away while the real moves are made. That is precisely why independent, rigorous analysis matters more today than ever before. Thank you for spending your valuable time with us today on Britain Underneath. If you want to keep seeing through the political smoke and mirrors, please subscribe to the channel, take a breath, and remain informed. By subscribing, you support independent commentary that digs deeper into the stories shaping our nation, ensuring you stay ahead of the narrative every single time. Stay curious, stay sharp, and join us again on the next video as we continue to uncover what lies beneath.